There's started to be a budding producer around town, and also has won his round in the last two contests going on in East Valley. How about a warm welcome, please, Mr. Kurt Buckout?
Thank you, Tony. I always love following an anal rape joke. Can we give it up for Matt again and the alcohol that fuels him? I think his blood type is Red Bull. Well, happy belated 4th of July, guys. Yeah. Does anyone else find it weird that we celebrate the day we became independent, our country, our day of independence, if you will, by going and hanging out with a bunch of other people? I'll let that sink in. I actually just saw a movie today that really like disgusted me and offended me, just my sensibilities, and really made me start questioning America, you know, its goodness and everything. Did anyone else see White Chicks? Maybe we are evil. If that's the stuff we're producing, maybe America does suck. Thank you. Okay. As you guys can tell, I have a weird look. I kind of look like if my mom and my dad had a baby. Kind of. A lot of comics do impressions. I like to up the bar a little bit. I like to do what they call double impressions. So right now, I'd like to do my impression of the crocodile hunter doing his impression of me. Hey everybody, my name's Kirk. It's great to be here. All right, you weren't that impressed by that. Okay, how about this? I'll do Arnold Schwarzenegger, not known for his voices or his acting, doing his impression of me. That's what you have to do. Hey y'all, how y'all doing? You want to get some biscuits and gravy? Holla! That sounded nothing like me. I bet you didn't know this. Arnold Schwarzenegger, horrible at impressions. Is that dumber than Matt's joke? You sure you're joking? Speaking of impressions, I got to open up a show. I got to perform and open up for an Elvis impersonator. Thank you. And it was obviously it was older Elvis. He's a big fat guy. But it was he's sort of a low. I respect performers and anybody who gets in front of people and tries to entertain them. That's respect. I commend that. It's great. But this guy was kind of a low budget Elvis impersonator, and he wasn't that good at it. But he was still doing all the Elvis moves. You know how like Elvis would like hand out the scarves. You know, he'd like dab some sweat and hand it to a lady in the front. Yeah. And when Elvis would do it, it was cool, cause he was Elvis. This guy wasn't Elvis. He was just a big fat sweaty guy. Handing out sweat rags. Sweat rag sets that guy up. I think someone's stabbing him. Sounds like a guy's high getting tickled. But anyway, but he was still handing out the sweat rags, and the women, God bless them, they were trying to act like it was great. They're like, oh, thank you. Oh my God, this is disgusting. But he didn't have a lot of money, so he only had 4 scarves. So every time he'd hand one out, he'd have to ask for it right back. And he's like, there you go, little lady. Can I get that back? I need it. It's just sad. And then at the end of the show, he only got 3 of them back. So he had to like get up in front of everybody. He's like, look, y'all, Elvis has not left the building. Anyone? Nothing? All right, cool. Because Elvis hasn't got his scarf back. I'm not saying anyone stole it, but Big E needs that back. His mama made that for him. If I lose a scarf, I lose money on the whole deal. Okay, here's what Elvis is going to do. Elvis is going to turn his back to the crowd. Whoever took it, just put it on the stage right now. I swear to God, if I don't get that back, I'm going to come back to your homes and shoot all your TV sets. I'm not a good Elvis impersonator. I sound like Cher. And he actually started to break character a little bit. He's like, come on, come on, baby, just give me it back. Anybody who gives me the tip that leads to the return of the scarf, I'll give you a Cadillac. Hot Wheel. I don't have a lot of money. And someone shouted out there like, Elvis, check your chest. And he's like, what? And there's something sticking out from his chest. And he lifted up his left man boobie. And there was the fourth and final scarf. Covered in sweat. He's like, thank you very much, Elvis has left the building. The theme of that story, no ending. That's what we like to call that. No ending. I consider myself a bit of a news junkie, a news buff. There was a story that happened a couple weeks ago. You guys may have missed it. Did you guys hear Ronald Reagan died? I think it was just very sweet and very moving how the country, and especially the media, sort of in honor of Reagan, developed a case of Alzheimer's disease. Forgetting all of the horrible things he did during his life. Like his movies. You thought I was going to say something else, didn't you? I said his movies. All right, no Republican material. Cool. It's summertime. Summer means different things to different people. I'm a substitute teacher, so summer means unemployment for me. I have no money. So I went tubing down the Salt River this last weekend. Did anybody else do that? All right, you've heard about it. That's all that matters. Yeah, so I went tubing with two of my comic buddies, and they showed up with a cooler with 60 beers in it. For 3 of us. I think the theme of the trip was supposed to be alcohol poisoning. I didn't know. But if you were out there this last weekend, it was a holiday weekend, the police were out in force. Oh my God, I saw a police helicopter, a police canoe, a police hovercraft, and a police submarine. It was just, they couldn't submerge, it's shallow. They weren't thinking. But I show up, and for weeks I've been thinking, God, summer's coming up. I got to start going to the gym. I got to start working out, and you know, and then my 2 comic buddies took off their shirts, and I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm fine. No work necessary. So we start floating down the river, and there's a group ahead of us, and one of the girls in the group ahead of us starts floating. She starts drifting away from her group, so she's alone and vulnerable. So the ladies' man among us, he delivers the very smooth, suave pickup line of, beer for boobs, come on. Don't be stuck up, beer for boobs. And apparently the girl had self-esteem or respect for herself. She said, no. Whatever, whore. She caught up with her group, and we did too. We both caught up with her group, and one of her friends in her group turns around, and she saw me, and she goes, hey, you were my substitute teacher. Am I keeping up with your studies? I don't know what to say to you, you know? It was awkward, but the best part was she looked and she goes, I thought it was you, but you look a little different. And I'm like, I hope so, because I usually don't show up to school without a shirt, drinking a beer, wearing a tube. Usually, not all 3. 2 out of 3, yes. Yes, so we found out she was 18, she was not of age, so we did not give her the beer. Well, that and she didn't show us her boobs, but... I was trying to bargain with her, hall passes for boobs. A's for TNA, nothing? But the comics, we continued to float down the river, and we started talking about a mutual friend of ours, and they go, one of the comics goes, yeah, that guy, he slept with a lot, I mean a lot of women, and you gotta respect that. And I'm like, no you don't. Let's run down the list of respect. Gandhi, Martin Luther King, and Captain Clapp. What are we respecting? Let's just break it down, you know? It's like, that guy's riddled with disease and he's constantly taking the AIDS test. You gotta respect that. He works 3 jobs to support his 2 illegitimate children. You gotta respect that. He has a hole in his soul he tries to fill with meaningless sex. He's a role model for the kids. And you gotta respect that. When it comes to the topic of sex, I don't get much respect because I've never had any. Sorry, I forgot to wear my Scarlet V, I'm sorry. Literary people, cool. They've seen a book. Yeah, really, you think you're so much better than me just because you had sex? with a human. All right, Ronald Reagan and bestiality jokes. No. I'm not a loser because I haven't had sex. I'm a loser because I bite my toenails and watch the Sci-Fi Channel. I'm kidding. Kidding. I don't watch the Sci-Fi Channel. I'm not that big of a dork. That's a laugh of recognition is what that is. That guy got me. I do. It seems like in society, if you, no sex, you're a loser. So that I think in turn that means if you've had sex, you're a winner. You know what I mean? So like the guy, the construction worker who comes home drunk and beats his wife and kids, winner. 14-year-old girl who leaves her newborn baby in the dumpster behind the Walmart, gosh, she's a winner. And you gotta respect that. All right, I'm leaving on that. See you later, guys.
Do you realize that